Hello students, in the last session we have discussed static members in Java. In today's session we will study inheritance in Java. We have already studied inheritance in the basic concepts of Java programming language. We know that inheritance means a class acquiring the properties of another class. Every class which we declare has its own properties and methods. If we have two classes having similar properties, then instead of declaring those properties separately in each class, we can declare the properties in one class and we can make the other class inherit those properties. This will provide the benefit that is reusability. So the properties are declared in one class and those properties are used by another class. So instead of declaring those properties again in the second class. In today's session we will study how inheritance is implemented in Java programming language. So let's start. Inheritance can be defined as the process where one class acquires the properties of another class. So inheritance, as I've said, it simply means acquiring properties of other class. And one good general example of inheritance, as we have discussed even in earlier case, it is a son inheriting some properties from his parents. So the relation between child and parent. So child generally inherits properties from their parents. And the same concept of inheritance can be used in programming language as well. Okay, the class which inherits the properties of other is known as subclass. So remember, the class which inherits the properties is called as subclass, or it is also called as derived or child class. And the class whose properties are inherited is known as superclass, or it is also called as base class or parent class. So the class which inherits the property, it is child class, and whose property it is inheriting, that class is called as superclass. Okay, how inheritance is implemented in Java. To implement inheritance in Java, we use a keyword called as extends keyword. So extends keyword used to inherit the properties of a class. So let's see a syntax of extends keyword, how extends can be used to inherit properties. Okay, we have a class, say class super, which is having some properties. Then if we want the another class to inherit this superclass, we can define the subclass like class sub. So this is the name of a class, and this subclass we want it to inherit properties of superclass, and for that we have to use the keyword extends. So subclass extends super is the class name which we are inheriting. So extends name of the class which you want to inherit. Here in this example we want to inherit the properties of super class. The name is super, so we have used super here. And the subclass may also can have its own properties. Now one important thing about subclass here, it is subclass includes the properties of its own as well as the properties of the class super, because it is inheriting it. But superclass cannot inherit or cannot have the properties of subclass. Superclass only has its own properties, because superclass is not inheriting any other class. But the subclass here, it is inheriting superclass. That means it is having its own properties, and as well as it is inheriting the properties of superclass. So subclass is saying I am having the properties of superclass as well. Okay, let us look at one example on the inheritance. Okay, this is a simple example to demonstrate inheritance. Okay, look at this example. We have a class with a name parent, and this class has properties. It has a property, that is a method, public void p1. So this is a method, and it contains one statement, that is system.out.println. It is printing a string, that it is printing parent method, and we have a closing of p1 method, and we have a closing of class. So this is our one class, the class parent. It includes only a single method. Then we have another class, public class. The class name is child, and if you look at this class, it is extending the class parent. That means it is inheriting the properties of parent class. And the class child contains a method. The method is c1 of its own, and from c1 we are printing child method. If you look at the child class now, you may see there is a single method c1, but child class now it contains two methods. Yes, it contains method c1 of its own, and it also contains a method p1 which it has inherited from parent class. Okay, then there is also a main method in the child class, public static void main, and inside the main method what we have done, first we have created an object of child class. Child cobj is equals to new child. The object of child class we have created, and then using the object of child class we are calling the method c1. So child object dot c1. So c1 it is present in child class itself, so we can call it. And then if you look at, by using the object of child class itself, we are even calling p1. As I have told you, p1 is not present in child class, but even though we are able to call p1 because child class is inheriting p1. So even p1 it is part of the child class, and that is the reason even we can call p1 by using the object of child class. If child class do not inherit a parent class, in that case we cannot call p1 by using the object of child class. Remember, we are able to call p1 only because child class is inheriting the parent class. Okay, let me execute and show you the output of this program. Okay, let us open Notepad++. I have already copied the program. I'll paste it here. So we have a class parent, and we have one more class, that is child, which contains method c1 as well as it contains a main method, and it is inheriting a method from parent class. Okay, let me save this. So I'm saving it with a name child, because it contains the main method. So we have to save it with the class name, that is child. Okay, it has been saved. Let's compile it by opening CMD. I have opened CMD. Then let's go to the drive where we have saved the program. It is in F. Let's compile it. Java C space name of the file, it is child.java. Okay, the program is compiled without any errors. Let's execute it. Okay, let us look at the output of this program. It is printing child method, parent method. If you look at the main method, we have created an object of child, then we have called C1. When we call C1, it will print child method, and when we call P1, it will print parent method. Now, as I have told you, P1, it is not part of child, even though we are able to call P1 because child class has inherited parent class. Now, let me just remove this inheritance. Let me remove extends parent, and let us see what it. So what result it prints. I'll compile it again. Okay, at the time of compilation itself, it is generating an error. If you look at the error, child.java, line number 22, cannot find symbol. That is saying cannot find symbol, and in the symbol section you can see method P1. So it is saying method P1 is not present in child class. So location variable co_pj of child type. So that means this P1 is not present in child. We cannot access P1 by using the object of child class. If you want to access the P1, you have to create an object of parent class. But we can access it by using inheritance. And if we say child extends parent, all the properties of parent class are also the properties of child class. Okay, that's it for today's session. We will stop here. Thank you.